welcome to our 6th podcast. It is April 12th when we're recording this, and so you have that information as we are sharing some things that are coming up. We are really excited to have you here today. My name is Gretchen Bruner. I'm the Executive Director of School Improvement Services, and with me is Sean Aker, our SSA, our Student Success Act Coordinator. And to begin, let's hear a little bit about some of the upcoming professional development.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll get into that in just one second. I just wanted to give an update to our audience, all of the followers out there, the folks who use the Technical Assistance Program or access the cross-functional Equity, Inclusion, and Achievement team. We wanted to just give you a quick kind of an update where we're going out, our team, the Technical Assistance Program, we've created free or reduced cost access to a variety of services that have advanced the efforts of our districts across the region. Mm-hmm. And so over the next couple of months, April and May, really, we're going to be reaching out to folks who are leading or implementing many of these programs. And our intent is to gain your perspectives, the user, the implementer perspective about these programs so that we can understand the impact, that we can learn the ongoing needs, and then to help us identify where we might need to make some shifts and adjustments in our services. So expect to hear from us. We will be doing some interviews, and we'll also have a survey coming out. So, okay, professional development. We know that folks are doing a lot of state testing right now, and so we really only have one more thing that I really want to elevate this month. It's April 18th. It's a school safety summit. It's been over 3 years. I just checked. It's been over 3 years since we hosted a summit similar to this. And that one was just before or at the beginning of the development of the Student Success Act and the districts developing their plans. And we brought a bunch of partners together. It was a bit more broad in context. This one next week on the 18th, it's a full day summit. We're going to provide district leaders with details around, details about the required school safety policies and plans. And there's going to be an opening and a closing session. There's going to be some breakout sessions during the middle of the day that folks can choose to attend. This is going to be co-presented with various agencies, including Lions for Life and PACE. And our Center for Education, Evaluation, Education, and Research will also be co-facilitating. And so at the end, there's going to be, we want to provide participants with an opportunity, a session at the end or at some point in there to put the content they're learning into action. So if you haven't signed up for that, we have a link. It'll be in the podcast notes. On May 3rd, we have our final Student Success Network Community of Practice of the year. And, we've convened ninth grade on track, or we've merged ninth grade on track and regular attendance, and we're bridging the information with social emotional learning, early learning, mental health, to make sure that we're having a maximum impact on the teams who are doing the work to lead chronic absenteeism reduction, to improve ninth grade on track, and kind of bringing this all together because there's so many different things that folks can choose to do. So May 3rd, it's a full day. It'll be the last one of the year. We've got math curriculum adoption support coming up on May 3rd as well. It's a 1-hour after-school session. It's a great opportunity for folks who are leading the math curriculum adoption in your schools. We do have tentatively on the 4th of May, the collaboration for summer expanded learning. The link's coming soon. The link's going to be provided to us, and then I'll provide it out to you. It's going to be at the Broadway Commons, and it's provided to us from our partners at Oregon Ask. And this event is really the main focus is we want to build the strategic partnerships between our school districts and the partners with Oregon Ask, those expanded learning partners, because what we really want to do is establish summer programs, whether or not the funding comes through from the state. So we want to make sure that everybody is prepared to do something because every district's going to have families and students that want to engage in something. Same day, we have a rural regional gathering, so probably a different audience. It's going to be a lot more specific to folks in a building. And then just call to your attention on May 11th. A lot of us are really taking a really specific approach for suicide prevention. And so on May 11th, we have the QPR training, question, persuade, refer. It's suicide prevention training. This is anybody. It's, teachers, any staff in a building. I would probably throw it out there and say if you've got parent committees and you want to invite them, send the invite out to them as well, because this is really good for anybody who's helping to, who's impacting the schools, who's got a lot of interactions with kids. It's a great opportunity.
Right.
Couple more. The last thing for me, we're still seeking interest to fill or expand the opportunities to participate in science of reading training through Letters, or in mastery-based flip model classroom training through Modern Classrooms project. So we've got some all the slots are full for Letters, but we have funding that we can open up an additional cohort of 40. Administrators are requesting some support there as well, so we can certainly open up a cohort for administrators if we get the numbers. And then the Modern Classrooms project, just a reminder, educators receive $500 for completing that training. It's not a district-wide or a school-wide approach. It's for those educators who are maybe already doing some flip model mastery-based teaching and learning. So great opportunities there.
Awesome. Thank you. Lots going on. No questions. Lots going on. Excited to have people in the building. Our parking lot's full today. We were just looking outside. We have trainings going on, and we're excited to have you here and to be able to come out and support all of you. I have a few ODE dates and deadlines to share. First, the Rural Education Achievement Program. The timeline is coming up for the deadline for the Small Rural School Achievement, the SRSA application. It's on April 14th, so that's this week. And the Rural and Low Income School Program, RLIS application, won't be due until November. Make sure you are working with Sarah Beard to help you out and support you. Your SIP narrative assurances need to be substantially approved before June 30th for the federal formula title program grant funds. So just make sure that you are getting all of your SIP budget assurance narratives and all of those pieces in before June 30th, please. As far as literacy, there's was a really great comprehensive literacy announcement that came out from ODE, and we'll provide that link here. But a few highlights from that. They are hosting this, and it looked really interesting to me personally, hosting a series of 3 sessions, and it's the News Literacy Project, and it's a free webinar series and how you can find news you can trust and skills for seeking credible information. So navigating these times, especially with students, and figuring out where you can find those credible sources. And so that's coming up. It starts April 12th, which is tomorrow, but there's April 12th, 19th, and 26th, and I think you can join any of those. Oregon Writing Project Summer Institute is going to be June 9th through July 14th. It's going to be somewhere in the Portland metro area. There are a number of different workshops that are currently available, so if this is of interest to you, make sure you're taking a look at that. The deadline for application is Friday, April 28th. And there is an online application that'll be linked in our notes. The Oregon, did I do that one twice? I did. There are some tag learning sessions coming up when we know that this has been of interest to a number of our districts. We talked about these earlier in one of our podcasts, but there is one last one on April 20th. Actually, I believe there's one tomorrow as well, or today as well. So April 20th at Lane ESD from 8:30 to 12, lunches on your own. You can register for this. Remember, there's new tag identification rules and some new pieces around that. And so it's really a support there.
It looks like we need to get this podcast out because registration by April 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We will. We'll have it out ahead of time.
Yeah.
I know.
People are listening and they'll be like, okay.
I was ready. I thought ahead on this one. Science materials evaluation at the state level is looking also for a committee. If you're interested in that, we will link for the nomination form and have some additional information. And then there's a number of grants coming up. The Future Ready Oregon grants coming out, community investment grant, re-engagement opportunity grants. And don't forget our Center for Education, Innovation, Evaluation, and Research supports grant writing. And it is that time that districts are finishing up LSPs. And so if you want to resolve for some support in grant writing, that is an option for you. One last thing that I want to share. regarding our department, we do have a new service this year, and it's about newcomer recent arrival transcript evaluation. We know that that's a time-consuming process within a district, especially for like a high school counselor having to make those calls and all of those pieces. So we are offering that as a service. It's at an hourly rate. It's $100 an hour, which covers all the translation costs, all of everything. Typically, a transcript is between an hour and an hour and a half to do, but it takes that out of the hands. And one of the things that we know is our staff's time can be a little more flexible. We aren't necessarily direct with students, and so if we can help you and support you in that, please don't hesitate to look into that as a service. And then finally, we are continually recruiting for our Career Academy. We have some amazing things coming up in this next year with our partnerships with Papay and Ferris Lumber and MAPS Credit Union, a number of certifications, and we'll have some new literature around that we can share coming up. But if you are not currently a part of that, we do have a pilot program available for 6 slots, and we're happy to get you engaged in that way. So
I'm looking, we're still under our average time here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put a quick plug out for the school improvement meeting next weekend.
Yes, please.
We've had pretty good attendance,
mm-hmm.
consistent players, but there are some folks that aren't able to attend. So I'm going to call those folks to make sure that they are aware of what's coming up at the next meeting, because we have some opportunities as we're kind of mm-hmm. winding down the year. We've learned a lot this year from folks, and we really appreciate everybody's input and feedback, the collective decision-making that we're able to make. But, thought exchange is something that's been used a little bit across our region, and so we might have an opportunity to make that accessible to our folks. Newsela, did you know that every district has users of Newsela across our region?
That's awesome.
I mean, like every district, like over 1,000 users across the entire region. Some paid, some free, and I mean, like, man, if we can make this accessible to more folks,
mm-hmm.
So
it's a really great resource.
Yeah, so we'll hear some of the new developments next week as well, and then administrator support. We're putting out an RFP because we really want to be specific with what's offered through the WSI and how our building leaders, our building principals,
mm-hmm.
I was just talking with a couple last night at a track meet. They are really, really just taxed right now, and they need to hear from others, like, what's your structure, what's going well,
mm-hmm.
and then they can think about that. So just some upcoming things that we'll talk about next week. And so if you hopefully you're listening to this podcast and you're like, okay, great, I'm going to attend, because you already have the invite, right? There's a lot of people on this list that get that list. So
perfect.
Yep.
Well, come and join us. We'll hopefully see you next week. But for now, that's it. That's all we have for you today. As always, if you have any questions or if you need any support, you know where to find us here at the ESD, and we are happy to help. So take care.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Thanks.
Thank you.